Hi guys, I'm Emily Swank with Autism Assistant, and today we're here to do another interview for our series of featured providers, kind of just to give you a little insight into our different providers and the services they offer, and to let you get to know a little bit more about their personality and their practices. So today we have Michea Rahman from Children's Language Center in Texas. Hi Michea.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing today?
I am doing very well. Honored to be here. Honored to be here.
Well, thank you. So we're very excited to have you. So I appreciate you hopping on with us. We are just going to ask you 5 or 6 questions that I feel like most parents who are looking for a provider that they would want answered to kind of give them a little more insight into you and what you do. So we'll just go ahead and jump right in, and I'll have us tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, like the services you offer, the age range, and the location.
Okay. Well, my name is Michea Rahman, and I am the proud owner and lead therapist for the Children's Language Center. We are located here in Houston, Texas, on the south side of Houston, in an historically underserved and underrepresented area of Houston, where there are literally no clinics for children with special needs. So families have historically had to leave the area to find services. And this was my answer: to provide quality services, to bring a level of equity to all children, and do it with love and commitment. And that's what I strive to do every day.
That is awesome. And so what typical age range do you work with?
Well, we're in pediatrics, so we have generally where that lies, we have babies, so you're 1 or a little under 1, all the way to high school. So we have some high schoolers here, and so we're really excited about that. I really like the I like and I'm inspired by the diversity of the ages. It's challenging as well as comforting for parents, because sometimes as kids get older, parents are having difficulty finding services and quality services, and they're really having difficulty finding hope as their children are getting older, and commitment from service providers. So I'm really happy to be able to have that, offer that diversity, and have that commitment returned to me from my families. So that's awesome.
That is awesome. And I love that you are working with the underserved community and providing those services to children that otherwise may not be able to get it. So thank you for that. That's awesome. Why are the services that you offer so important to an autistic child?
Wow. That is, I like to say that the parents of children with autism have the advantage of knowing their children need something. But all of our children, neurotypical children, are being totally left out. And all of them need a lot of these same sensory-based methods. And that is what I offer to children with autism, to neurotypical children who we find are presenting especially with this COVID time. COVID has offered so many, it's kind of crazy because it's a terrible nightmare. But within this nightmare, there's been these blessings of parents of neurotypical children that have found watching the camera of their children not being able to keep up with the teacher. And they're actually seeing their children in real time. Now, this is not the parents of children with autism. These are those parents who thought their children were doing great. And now they're, oh my God, my kid can't read. My child can't answer a WH question. Yeah. My child can't, and it's almost echoing the parents of children with autism. So I say that to say that time has allowed us to see that a lot of our children are just in need. We see that there are children with a lot of sensory issues that may not be defined as sensory kids, but they all present with something that may need a little regulation so that they can adapt to a school and learning environment. And that is what I give to neurotypical children, quote unquote, neurotypical. And I say that for myself, quote unquote, neurotypical, as well as to children with autism. I offer DIR floor time. And in that, it's a wonderful method that I have really fallen in love with, and I have really been able to see, for me, it answers something that I feel is intrinsically missing from a lot of what our teaching for all children, is that we're gonna look at that child and what is that child's sensory profile, and as well as let's build a relationship. Before I teach you something, let's get to know each other. And you're going to get to become, I am going to be your playmate. And we are going to play. And we're reinforcing the power of play. We're reinforcing the power of understanding our sensory regulation. They're becoming regulated. I'm becoming regulated. And parents are learning that the magic is very simple. And it's building those relationships. And out of those relationships, we're getting language that is more intrinsically motivated versus external, right? I can't say that I am going to give you, that you're going to say this word because I'm going to train you to say the word. I want you to organically say the word because we're playing and the word sounds fun, and this is just something that we're going to do, and we're going to make these sounds, and we're just going to return these circles of play. And in so doing, we are creating we're filling so many holes that are left gaping in that language development process. So for me, that has been just the greatest gift that I could give the community, that could give families, and in so doing, it gives me back energy, friendships, and it's a wonderful process. It really is. And so I'm really excited to offer DIR floor time generally. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So for parents who are new to all this, just looking to start therapy, kind of not really sure what the whole process is, what can you, what should they expect? What would you like them to know?
Well, I guess that's different for a lot of parents, right? It really would go on how old their child is. So there are some school-age parents that have children that are later identified as autism, right? And then we have those early language kids at like 2.5 and what have you. So I often tell parents, especially, it's very difficult. And you're dealing with a lot of, there's a mourning period. Mourning as in sorrow, as in like it meets the storm coming in. It's just very sad when you have this heartbreak, and there's this, and depending on the family structure, there's a lot of guilt that may be compounded with this. And so parents say, do I have to go get a diagnosis if the baby is young? Straight away, I'm going to honestly say, if your insurance needs it, you might need to go. If you can't, you know, if you don't have the funds. But bottom line, I'm on the front lines either way. I'm a foot soldier. I'm a foot soldier if you have a diagnosis, and I'm a foot soldier if you don't. So we're gonna be together. We're gonna create a team. And the sooner you come in and we can get this going, maybe some of those characteristics that would be identified, maybe we can lessen them. Maybe we can push them out the way. Maybe we can we can let that baby through play, we can allow that, get into that baby's bubble and allow that baby to come out and shake some of this stuff off. You know, sometimes their diagnosis is just a bit much, and maybe they're just not ready for it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. We still got to work. So let's work. So I think that's kind of what I would say. If the insurance isn't pushing for it, if the insurance is allowing, and I just say insurance because that's the payer, right? I definitely, because of the communities I serve, and because of my why I am here, I definitely keep my out-of-pocket cost lower than a pair of shoes at DSW, because parents need to be able to afford it, and because we are here for a long run, right? But nonetheless, speech is, I often say, I'm not God, of course, but I'm not his hand either, but I'm definitely a finger. So as a speech therapist, we can help massage that brain. We can massage that language, and we can massage things in a child and give those techniques and that power back to families. Because no matter how much I play with a child or what have you, my goal is to give that power back to mothers and fathers and allow them, you are the primary caregiver. And I am here to support you and support that child. But I think that everyone's road is different, but if you don't want to go and rush and get a diagnosis, and your baby is still a baby, like 2 or what have you, but you know you have a language delay, let's get to work.
Well, your answer there brings me to my next question. When you had mentioned your inspiration behind, you know, what you do, can you tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to get into this?
Well, wow, that's kind of that's a long story. But I mean, you know, I don't know if it inspired me or maybe it was just an evolution of life. It came about, I've always loved as a little kid. I'm a 70s kid, so I have no problems talking about my age, but I love Sesame Street. So I was either going to be on Sesame Street and I was going to be a teacher. So my road in life has always been, and being from a Black neighborhood, I held my teachers in high regard. My teachers were the professionals. My teachers they saved me. They were consistent. They were not always the nicest people in the world, but they were very consistent. They always dressed like they were going to church Monday, Wednesday. You know, I mean, not that I do at all, but they garnered a lot of respect. And as a child, I was like, I wanted to do what they're doing. You know, I would be nicer, but I would do what they're doing. So as life goes on, I always took that with me. I went on, study theater, and I was always going to have a theater arts program for young people. I started that. Make a long story short, I ended up started working with young adults with autism in the theater program. And they just really, they changed me more than I changed them. Although maybe their family said I changed them, but I went back and really changed, kind of tweaked my skill levels. And how can I join these things? So now it's actually been, I feel like this is where I'm really starting to get to where my purpose was, that marrying of Sesame Street and the love of teaching, and coming together with that. I still want to definitely have a goal of creating an arts program here for young persons with autism. And what's, you know, mixed with their siblings and cousins. Everybody has cousins here, but okay. I'm in the South, I don't know. Yeah, everyone
Similar here too, yes.
Yeah, so everyone has cousins. So you can say siblings, but you gotta say cousins, right? So I still want to do that because I think that again, like I said with DIR, it's really about bringing up those relationships and making that family more connected and building that love of self and the confidence to actually speak. And so I think, yeah, that's how I came along my road. And in my road, I have had the fortune of working in several different settings, and stroke and pediatrics has been, I really realized, wow, I'm good. I like this and I'm good. And even more so, I realized like, wow. And because I've been in education and working in schools for so long, I realized, and most of my time in school as a speech path or educator was always secondary. And so we could always say, well, the problems was the middle school. And then I worked in middle school. Then, okay, the problems happened to them in elementary. And then in elementary, we'd say, well, the problem were before us, right? The problem was always. And I was like, well, you know what? Knock all that out and let's start when that child is young. And let's build that baby up, and it stops putting it back on somewhere else. That's a little side joke maybe teachers do. I shouldn't have probably said that, but it definitely has given me a level of commitment and awareness where I see there's a huge, just a huge hole in services that needs to be filled with competence and with experience and with love.
I love that. That's a great answer. And I love hearing about your theater program and kind of trying to bring all that together. That's amazing. So my last question for you would just be, is there something about you or your business that you would like parents to know?
Well, I like to have fun, and this is basically who I am. I really like we're growing, and I'm really fortunate. I'm really fortunate to have the relationship, the professional relationship that I have with Autism Assistant. And so I'm just really, really fortunate that we have this wonderful relationship building, and very honored to have this opportunity. Additionally, I often tell parents when they call, what you hear is what you'll get. So it's who I am. And I really, while we're looking at growing, I really want, first off, there to be a commitment to customer service, because so often there's just not a level of commitment and customer service, especially. That's why we're the underserved and underrepresented. And then we get into medical, it's disastrous. And it's something that it's something that I am really happy to say that this is the focus. I am so sorry.
That's all right.
I hope you're still seeing me.
Yeah.
I feel like that commercial, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? But I want, the parents know that it's really not, my goal is to make them feel as comfortable as possible. Children come in, they make themselves at home. That is the goal. They will go get their snacks, maybe not when they're supposed to, but they'll go get them because they're hungry. And I'm like, well, they're home. But that's the goal. It's to build a relationship that you feel comfortable, that they feel comfortable, because that is when we're going to get that language. That's when we're going to get those skills coming about. And that's what I want parents to know. And that I think when this backdrop, and I was telling a friend of mine earlier, and I think I said it to you before we started this briefly, but not so much, but during this time of COVID, if I've learned anything, is that if I can't do it with love, take a pause. take a pause. Just take a pause, because the world doesn't need anything more.
Yeah.
Anymore. If you can't return a call in love, if you can't look at a conflict with love, take a moment until you can. Right? If you just can't approach anything with love, and I think if we look at that, and I think that's what parents, even if I'm not the provider for them, because everyone's not going to be perfect for everybody, right? That just doesn't go, right? You deserve to have someone love and believe in your child, even when you don't. Now that's something that, because we don't always, and I'm not a perfect parent, so I'm not the only parent, I'm sure, that's been like, whoa, boy. But you deserve to have someone on your team, and a team that believes in your child on some more than you do, because they're the specialists. Mm-hmm. They should be able to say, I know you're scared, I know you want to give up, but this is the road. And if you don't have someone with that level of commitment and love, then you keep looking. You keep looking, because that person is out there. If it's not me, because I'm not in your city or in your area, because Houston is so big, but you'll find that, because there are people out there that service with commitment and love and dedication. And I think that's where our children, that's where they're gonna grow. They're not gonna grow, they're just not gonna do it. Children are too smart for that. They're too smart for that.
Oh, you're so right. And that is just a beautiful answer. And I think the perfect spot to leave it, because you're so right. Your child deserves that. The parents deserve that. And that's what we should all be looking for. And that is perfect. I thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Emily. You're wonderful. And I apologize for all the interruptions, but you know, hey, it's a Monday. Hey.
It's real life, you know, and I get it. Same thing happens over here. And guys, if you would like to reach out to Michea, or you would like to have more questions, you want to see any info about Children's Language Center, you can go to her profile on our website, autismassistant.com. I will actually link to her profile in the video description below this, so you can click straight through and go over there and contact her. But she's doing great work over there, and you hear she's got love for your child. I think it'd be a great place to go. Thank you so much, and we will talk later.
Thank you. Have a great day. Stay safe, okay?
Thank you. You as well.